All right, let's talk about the single most important and, yeah, the most skipped step in any paint job: primer. Seriously, getting this right is the difference between a project that looks amazing for years and one that's peeling before you know it. So let's get into it. So let's be real for a second. Have you ever spent an entire weekend painting a piece of furniture, maybe some metal railings outside, only to see it start to bubble up or get stained just a few months later? It is so frustrating. And you know what? There's a really specific reason that happens.
And the reason is almost always this: you skipped the primer. See, primer isn't just some kind of pre-paint. Think of it as the foundation. It's the glue that bonds to the raw surface and gives your expensive paint something to actually grab onto. Without it, you are literally just wasting your time and your money.
But here's the thing, not all primers are the same. And the good news is we've broken down the top 5 spray primers out there. I want you to think of these less like 5 competing products and more like a team of specialists. Each one has a very specific job it's designed to do perfectly. Okay, here it is, the whole lineup at a glance. We've got our best overall, our heavy hitter for metal, the ultimate stain blocker, a specialist for bare wood, and of course, a great budget-friendly option. This is basically your cheat sheet. But now we're going to dive into the details so you can match the exact right product to your project. So let's play matchmaker. In this next part, we're going to find the perfect primer that is going to guarantee your project is a success, saving you from that headache of having to do it all over again next year. First up, we've got the MVP, the reliable workhorse of the group. If you just want one can on your shelf that can handle pretty much any job you throw at it, we're talking a wooden chair, metal brackets, even plastic planters, this is your go-to. So what makes this stuff so good? It's really the combo of versatility and speed. It sticks to just about anything, and it's dry to the touch in only 20 minutes. If you're doing a weekend project, that speed is absolutely everything. Plus, since it's water-based, there's less smell and cleanup is super easy. And this right here, this is the main takeaway. 8 different kinds of surfaces from one can. This thing isn't just a primer, it's a problem solver for almost any project you've got around the house. It's just efficiency in a can. Okay, let's switch gears to a totally different problem: protecting metal from the weather. For stuff like outdoor railings, gates, or that metal patio furniture, your all-purpose primer just isn't going to cut it. You need a specialist, and this is the one. Now, the key phrase here is oil-based. Unlike a water-based primer, oil actually soaks into the tiny little pores in the metal. It creates this bond that physically locks out moisture and stops rust dead in its tracks. For long-term protection on outdoor metal, this is absolutely non-negotiable. And hey, this is also about value. It's not just that it's chemically better for metal, you're also getting 25% more product in the can. So for a bigger job, like a whole fence, that means you're buying fewer cans and you're saving money. There's a reason this is the pro's choice. Okay, now for the hero product. We've all been there, right? You paint over something and that old water stain or a knot in the wood just keeps bleeding through no matter how many coats of paint you put on. It's maddening. Well, Zinsser Bullseye is the solution. This primer doesn't just cover stains, it permanently seals them away. We're talking watermarks, those pesky tannins from wood knots, even smoke damage. It creates this barrier that nothing can get through. And get this, it's ready for paint in just 30 minutes. It solves the absolute toughest problems, and it does it fast. This quote says everything you need to know. When the pros run into anything weird, this is the can they grab. So when you buy this primer, you're not just buying a product, you're buying insurance against that frustrating bleed-through, making sure your final paint color is perfect. Now here's a really smart money-saving trick, straight from the pros. If you're painting bare wood, think kitchen cabinets or a raw wood bookshelf, and you're using a dark or really vibrant color, you should be using a gray primer. The logic here is just simple color theory. Starting with a neutral gray base helps those rich colors like a deep blue or a dark green get to their true shade with fewer coats of your expensive paint. And that directly translates to saving money on your top coat. It's the same great fast-drying formula as the white one, just optimized for this specific job. You know, sometimes the job is big, the surface is pretty clean, and the budget is just the number one thing you're thinking about. For those times, when you don't really need that elite stain-blocking power, but you need solid performance at a great price, Krylon has got you covered. This is the smart buy for those large, straightforward projects. It gives you a reliable, smooth base coat on a properly prepped surface, but without that premium price tag. If you're priming a whole set of outdoor furniture or a long fence, the money you save per can really starts to add up. Okay, let's quickly break down the most important technical choice you have to make. And the rule is actually pretty simple. For like 90% of your projects, water-based is going to be the fast, easy, low-odor choice. But for that bare metal that's going to live outside, the amazing adhesion and rust protection of an oil-based primer is absolutely worth the longer dry time and the solvent cleanup. Look, buying the right primer is half the battle, for sure, but the other half is applying it correctly. Even the best product in the world will fail if your technique is off. So let's quickly go over the 4 steps that will guarantee you get a perfect finish. Now, I want you to pay close attention to step 2. Don't just give it a little 30-second shake. You need a full 2 minutes to really mix the pigments and binders inside. This is the most common mistake people make, and it's what leads to spitting and an uneven coat. 2 full minutes. I promise it makes a huge difference. What's this number? 220. This is your secret weapon for getting a glass-smooth finish on wood. After your first coat of primer is dry, just give it a really light sanding with 220 grit sandpaper. It just knocks down any of the wood grain that popped up. This one simple step is what separates a pretty good DIY finish from a truly great professional-looking one. All right, we've covered a ton of ground, so let's just boil it all down to the final takeaway, so you can walk away from this knowing exactly which can you need to grab for your next project. So, to recap your go-to choices. For almost everything, just grab the Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch 2X. If you are dealing with outdoor metal, the only right answer is the Rust-Oleum Professional Red Primer. And if you've got a stubborn stain that just won't go away, Zinsser Bullseye will make it disappear for good. At the end of the day, choosing the right primer isn't an extra cost. It's an investment. It's the decision you make that guarantees all of your hard work, all the sanding, the cleaning, the careful painting, actually lasts. So, which specialist are you going to hire for your next job?